Look, over there, where the wall is broken. Do you see what lies beyond? That's what the land became after the light flooded in. An empty, white nothingness. Life cannot exist in such conditions. The primordial light would wreak havoc on the body's etheric balance. That nectarine you bought, it's Halric's favorite fruit.
Wow. Okay.
Most of the patients, Halric included, survived the attacks of powerful eaters. But their fate was sealed all the same. The monster's corruption has entered their bodies, and their very essence is being subsumed by light. The twisted state of the world itself just makes matters worse. Under normal circumstances, a person's ether naturally tends to equilibrium. But for these poor souls, the opposite is true. Sooner or later, every single one of them will turn. Tesleen and the patients, they all know this. They know what has to be done before the change goes too far, before the eater within takes over. The preferred method is mixing poison into their favorite food. In my time here, I've borne witness to a lot of last meals. I feel just as helpless as before. No matter how hard I fight, it's never enough. But it's a war I mean to wage, nonetheless. Speaking of wars, do you remember how I made you promise not to leave me and then promptly collapsed?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's just say I had a few choice words for the Exarch concerning the timing of his summons. But even if the fault lay with someone else, I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd abandon you on the battlefield. So I swore that I'd make up for my absence there by making a difference here.
Very kind of you.
And that's what keeps me moving forward, even when things seem hopeless. On which note, it's time we headed back. The longer we keep Tesleen waiting, the harder this will be for her.
Speak up if you'd like another helping. I made a little bit more than usual today.
You have gone to the trouble.
Oh, it's nothing, really. And we do so rarely have guests. In a place like this, you learn to take what moments of happiness you can get. I remember when I first came here with my mother. She was showing the early signs. I knew there was no way to save her, but I just couldn't face what needed to be done. That's the way of it for most people. Why they travel from arms to stay here. Beaten, broken souls come to wait out the inevitable, to receive the mercy of a painless death. When my mother finally left this world, I was mad with grief, but also thankful that her passing was a peaceful one. It's never easy, ending a life you've cared for, even when you believe they go on to a better place. I often find myself wishing the Warrior of Darkness would come and do that part for me.
The Warrior of Darkness?
You've never heard the tale? I'm not sure where it began, but every child in Norvrent could tell you a version of it. Warrior of Darkness, servant of death, take care of our souls at our dying breath. Let sinners and eaters of sin go with thee, that all may return to the sunless sea. Well, that's the version I was taught anyway. It's just an old bedtime story. He's certainly never deigned to visit us here.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Which is a good thing, surely. He sounds rather ominous.
Do you think so? I always liked the idea that he treated every soul the same, even the Sin Eaters.
You hear something?
They're coming.
Oh, they feel
Deadly.
dangerous.
Have you seen Halric? I swear, I only took my eyes off him for a moment.
So we gotta find Halric.
Any sign of him?
Nope.
No luck then. But he surely can't have gone far. We should keep looking. The Sin Eaters are out in force, and if we don't find him soon, you can be sure they will.
Oh, so that's the one from the Shadowbringers intro.
Did you see the size of that
That's
thing?
a Sin Eater.
It must be one of the nasty ones. Wherever it's going, it can only mean trouble. After it!
This thing looked like angels.
There it is! Is that... Oh no! Halric!
Oh, nice.
We have to run!
Oh.
Tesling! No!
A lack of emotions. Oh, man.
We all deserve happiness, wherever we can find it. The time left to you is precious. No one should die in pain. Mother, I...
She's gonna turn, right? I think that's what they said. hell? Oh, damn. What?
Oh, no, 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 no!
They look so. The human face. Oh my god, that thing is ugly.
Forgive me, Alice.
There's still remnants of her inside. That was a quick transition. Oh, man. Let's see what Alize had to say. Oh, so I gotta tell everybody what happened. That is a beautiful mount. They're all gonna be so sad. Only 2 people I gotta talk to? Oh, these are just the carers. I imagine you're just as shocked as the rest of us, so I appreciate that you're doing what you're doing here. Me, I don't have the words without the body. We can't even give her a proper burial. And she cared about that sort of thing, about giving people the chance to say their goodbyes. Howard is unresponsive as ever. He stands motionless, staring up into the sky where the Sin Eaters made their escape. Level 71. Spoken with the carers. Thank you. What you are doing, it means a lot to them, to me. Sorry to run. We realized we hadn't thanked you for rescuing Howard. You weren't hurt at all, were you? That wasn't even a fight. I was too late, too slow. No doubt I could protect you. Can't blame yourself for things beyond your control. You brought Howard back safe and sound. I won't have done anymore. I'm sorry, but I've come to a decision. I won't be continuing my role here. I hope you forgive me for leaving you and that you will delay Howard's last meal for as long as you possibly can. Not until it's too late, of course. Just give him what we always do. Of course, she should have done the same. She would have done the same. And a purpose. This damn light building without cease. It's the reason we can't save those corrupted. But what if we corrected the balance, you know, for just a little by little, even if it took years? We should return to the Crystarium. We may not be able to propel these on my own, but we still use the skills I've gained here. Forgive me, Gina, I couldn't stay there any moment longer, but I was serious about what I said. While the men and women in the battle against the blight with kindness, must fight my own way of steel. Miss Alice, is there anything I can get you? Yes, with this armor, you return to Crystal immediately. Thank you, CPN GNETT. It meant a lot to have you there on my side. I was tempted to set off again the moment we had decided upon direction, but you still have to visit Alphinaud, haven't you? If I know my brother, he'll be on the cusp of discovering something vital to our success if he hasn't already. I'm content to stay here and consider our option for the time being, but don't keep me waiting too long, eh? Alright. Now let's search for your brother.
The whistling breeze, mute. The pounding surf, frozen. Time itself takes a breath. At light's edge, all is perfectly still. The world captured in a painting, locked in a moment. Music, faint and fleeting, drifts coastward on the lifeless air. And in the distance, beyond the broken earth, a city beckons.
That's a city. It's a small city. Okay, Crackshell Beach on the eastern shore. Compared to the mainland, cities attack are far less prevalent. People you should be worried about. The people. What's wrong with the people? Spy you that city in the distance. Oh, a bunch of rich people live there. Whatever says I can't even pronounce that. Has to tell you he plainly deems it worthy of your undivided attention. If you head south along the coast, you eventually come to a fisherman's shack. A friend of the Crystal lives there, a man who goes by the name of Ybor keeps an eye on everything that happens, Kulusia. And we will be able to point you in the right direction. Just hand him a sprig of thyme. Oh, you already gave it to me. Nice. Alright, let's go. Some hobgoblins. think someone's going down here. Fish, crab. I got an eel in a barrel somewhere. If you have a taste for them. There's some dying. Champion the Dawn Run. Still tied. That's the fishing village just up the path there. You'd be looking for a rundown excuse for a tavern the locals call the Leaky Keel. Wait there and see what happens to Alphinaud. Oh, an Alphinaud will join me. Okay. Oh, you know what? At least one person's here. The Leaky Keel. This must be it. Alright, what you got? Some ale, some mead. It's the usual mead, supposed to be good. Water. Just go with some ale. What am I paying with? Some kill. Okay. There's a common to the north where we grow our vegetables, but we've lately pests. So I gotta kill some monsters for you. Door. No response. Maybe we need to knock louder. No response. Perhaps the alchemist's heart of hearing. Oh my god. How many times you gotta knock? There we go. You hear a faint squeaking from the room beyond, turn to bursting. No one is home, judging by lack of furniture. They haven't been for some time. The normal scrapes of vegetables. It's just rats have taken up residence. I'm back. Did that good for nothing character got safe for himself. Gone. Guess I'll have to join the rest of the hopefuls. In Gate Town, outside Elmore. You don't have a clue what I'm talking about, do you? And there was, I was thinking, we got another dreamer. Well, never mind all that. Take a seat wherever you like. You more than earned it. I'm even throwing another drink on the house.
And how is business today, Mistress Theva?
Oh, frenetic. Look, I have a new customer.
Tis good to see you, my friend. The barley seeds you wanted. They should produce a better harvest than the last.
What, just like that? Oh, Alphinaud, you really are a dear. Well, I'd best be tidying up some of those empty shacks before the pests move in. Keep an eye on the place while I'm out, eh?
It seems an age since last we spoke. Not since the prisoner exchange in Doma. And Yotsu. It has been even longer for me, of course, if you count the days I've spent here. But the time has only added to the relief I feel seeing you safe and well.
Shit, we thought we lost you.
Huh. Alize said much the same thing. I don't think I've ever had such a scolding. But I believe an exchange of news is in order. Come, tell me of your arrival and all that came before.
This.
I see. Both the Exarch and Alize told me what they knew of events, but I had stubbornly clung on to the hope that all-out war might yet be avoidable. And poor Tataru. She must be sick with worry. We must endeavor to return as soon as we may.
I might not know if you can
It
return.
would be
or
nice
not.
to bring her good tidings for a change.
Guess we don't say nothing yet.
But before we bid this world farewell, we must first ensure that it is not rejoined to the source. We must prevent the 8th Umbral calamity. Urianger's vision of the future has, I fear, every chance of coming true. By his description, the catalyst for the calamity was a formless and deadly weapon employed by the Garlean Empire. Which can only mean one thing. Black Rose. Gaius was telling you the truth. When we were on the trail of the Ascians, we saw evidence that the gas was being manufactured once more. Gaius was adamant that the project had been scrapped. But so long as there are wars to be waged, there will always be those determined to win by any means. And thus simply
Using
destroying
chemicals,
the existing stores of Black Rose
chemical
would do
warfare.
little to alter fate's course. In that sense, our involuntary journey here to the First was something of a boon. Together with the Exarch, we've developed a theory as to how we believe the rejoining will be set in motion. I'm sure Urianger himself will cover the subject in more detail. But I can tell you the process requires that both worlds, the Source and the First, be facing an existential threat. One being Sin Eaters, of course. They are a menace that I would dearly love to remove, and not just to avert a calamity. I may be a stranger to this world, but I will not stand idly by and let innocent people be slaughtered. That is what brought me to the gates of Yulmore. Ignoring its pretensions as a kind of capital city to what remains of the world, it is nonetheless a center of power and authority. If any solutions are to be found, I believe our search should begin there. What say you, old friend? Hungry for another adventure? And so we take to the road once more.
I would love to speak at least once. Like, okay, yeah. Let's go. Assuming you have no objections, let's make our way directly to the city outskirts. If we have time, our ride will just right. You may be lucky enough to see what I have yet to set foot in Alphinaud, despite my efforts to do so. Come from here, we must head west. It's a small bridge.